I think identity is such a key thing in healing from trauma, abuse, that people don't think it's as big of a thing as it really is. Because if you have your identity in other things and you don't have it in Jesus, He's the one who's going to help you look at yourself as being healed, being whole. That's what He wants for you, because you're a daughter or a son of a great King.
Yes.
And it's such a key component of the healing process. And I know that helped me in my life so much, is seeing myself as God doesn't want me, dealing with this trauma. He doesn't want me abused. He doesn't want me sick. All those things. He wants me well. He wants me healed. And
Yes.
having our hope in that, to have the faith and really want to get better, and desire to get better. What do you think?
Exactly. It can feel so complicated, and I think that's a danger too, to make it too complicated. Identity is so rooted also in our environment. So the messages that we're hearing from other people can make us believe that they know us better than we know ourselves, but they don't. And beginning to understand the voice that God continues to say. And one thing that was meaningful to me was someone who had struggled with, her daughter actually died. And she talked about the tremendous difficulty of dealing with that and knowing who she was, and was she still important really in God's economy, that this horrible thing that had happened and had damaged her so much. When someone shared, she said, "Where do you think God was when that was going on?" And she said, "I have no idea." She answered very honestly. And they said, "He was there. He was there with you. He was right beside you through the whole thing." That transformed how she saw that situation, which was powerful for me, seeing how once she knew she was not alone there, she was important enough that her identity was tied to who he loved and watched over. But I had mentioned to you before that a story about the man from Cambodia who was, during the times of the killing fields, which were such an unbelievable, horrific situation, where someone came in, leadership, where they then began to redesign the whole community fabric of human life. They removed all the children from families and put them in work camps, so the children didn't even know who their parents were anymore. And they made the children do horrendous things so that they were tied into that system. They couldn't go back to a different system because they had been involved in people being killed, watching people be tortured. And as we talked, and then I looked at him, and he's a nice guy, very, very nice, sweet, gentle guy. And I said, "How did you survive?" And he said, "It was my faith that God would get us through." He said that He would bring another day that would be a better day. And those types of things, they confirm for me that we are designed for healing. And if He can heal, anybody can heal.
That's right.
Because the brain is designed for healing. God didn't say, "Well, I'll give the good stuff to this one and nothing to this one." He gave it to all of us. Now, is it a process? Yes. My friend says sometimes mean time is mean time, that there's a process that we have to go through, which is another reason to go through it, because we get to share it with somebody else. I've been there. I saw that. I did that. And now I'm in another place. It's proof to people that our identity can be in transition. And that we are becoming more and more all the time, and learning and understanding. And I remember the day that I asked for love, the right love for my children. I had never asked God for that, because I'd always wanted to be a mother, and I loved my kids probably too much.
Yes.
And I remember one day feeling like God said, do you love them the way I love them? And I was like, ooh, I don't know. And he said, ask me for that kind of love. So it's growing and realizing that there are deeper ways to experience life, deeper ways to care about each other, deeper ways to care about ourselves and want the most, and not expect my gifts to look like your gifts and yours to look like mine.
That's right. He made us all unique and different. Like you said, every fingerprint is different.
Right.
God made us all individual, but he wants freedom for everyone, even though we are all different.
That's right.
It's like he says, come to me, all who are weary, and I will give you rest. He wants to take our burdens. He wants to take the trauma.
That's
He
right.
wants to take the abuse for us. But it's a process, because we have to understand it, like you said, get an understanding of what has happened and how to move forward and open that next door for healing, because there's many doors we need to walk through.
One last question for her, and then I think we're
Okay.
Okay.
Can I share something fun, though?
Yeah.
Sure.
I am probably the queen of random information, but I love science and I love fun stuff. But do you know when our fingerprint forms? And I just found this out like a couple of years ago. I had always thought I knew the answer to that. It's
Well,
in the womb.
Yeah.
It's the turning and shifting of that baby's body in the womb that begins to form all those little intricate pieces. That's why each person has it unique, because our time in the womb is unique. What a picture of, as we develop in life and grow and get to know our destiny and our legacy and all the purposefulness of life, that as we're doing that, we are developing that spiritual fingerprint.
I love it. And God has a huge purpose for all of us, each of us.
Yes.